According to reports monitored by the New Africa Channel, the parliament in South Africa has decided to close the Israeli embassy in Pretoria and halt diplomatic ties until a ceasefire in Israel's conflict with Hamas is reached in Gaza. The decision by South African lawmakers to close the Israeli embassy and pause diplomatic ties because of the conflict with Hamas is more like a symbol than an immediate action. Even though the parliament suggested this, it's up to President Ramaphosa and his team to decide what to do next.
How many more children must die? How many more houses must be demolished? How many more people must die of starvation, Chairperson, before we decide we must do something? So I want to say, I am so proud today to stand here and be a member of parliament of this National Assembly of this beautiful country in the stand that we are taking. Yes, we might be a small, insignificant to some of them part of the world, but the stand we're taking, the principal stand to shut the embassy until they decide to bring a ceasefire that will save lives and we can have a peaceful...
The president's spokesperson said that Ramaphosa acknowledges and respects the advice from the parliament about South Africa's relationship with Israel and the embassy. However, it seems they will take their time to think about it and consider all the effects before making any final decisions. Vincent Magwenya stressed that both the president and the cabinet are working on the issue, emphasizing that it's the responsibility of the national executive. This means the highest government officials are actively involved, showing how important it is for them to handle the situation together. President Ramaphosa, alongside key figures from the foreign ministry, has openly condemned the leadership of Israel for their military operations in the Gaza Strip. They have formally urged the International Criminal Court to examine the potential commission of war crimes, highlighting a strong opposition to Israel's actions and advocating for an impartial investigation into any possible serious offenses. The Israeli embassy refrained from an immediate response to inquiries, maintaining ambiguity regarding the unfolding events. Prior to the crucial vote, the Israeli ambassador in Pretoria was summoned back to Tel Aviv for discussions. Subsequently, the vote took place, resulting in a majority of 248 to 91 in favor of the resolution. Julius Malema and his Economic Freedom Fighters Party were the initial proponents of this decision, subsequently endorsed last week by the African National Congress, South Africa's predominant political party. This resolution reflects a long-standing belief in South Africa, dating back to Nelson Mandela's presidency in 1994. The consensus between these major parties underscores the significance of this issue in South Africa's diplomatic approach over the years. Hemi Majadina, the ANC's chief whip, introduced a modification to the EFS proposal. She included language stipulating that the closure of the embassy and the cessation of diplomatic relations with Israel should only occur contingent upon Israel's commitment to halt hostilities. Additionally, Israel is expected to engage in discussions with the United Nations to facilitate a fair and enduring peace.
That the DA, ACTP, FF Plus were not going to support the motion and the amendment. That is not surprising. We, the people of South Africa, who knows exactly what it means when you are killed, when women are killed, when children are killed, we know we have gone through that. We are victims of that. And therefore, we're not ashamed to support Palestine fully. The hypocrisy that has been shown here, you think that if you quote that the president is doing 1, 2, and 3, we are aware of that. We are an arm of state. We have a right as this parliament today to express our view on the unfolding genocide that is happening in Palestine. And therefore, how do you rush to negotiations when there's no ceasefire? You have to level the playing field. Ceasefire for you to be able to negotiate. The entire world is faced with the responsibility of bringing an end to genocide, killings, and untold human suffering that is happening in Palestine. As we speak now, the President of the Republic of South Africa, indeed, is chairing an extended meeting of BRICS, whose objective is to bring about ceasefire. You don't want to call to ceasefire in ngameli negotiations. Makala kuyekwe izithobo ezikabulawa abantu. As we speak, we have lost this country. 17th November, through our ambassador to the Netherlands, to the ICC Chief Prosecutor, Karim Khan, a request to investigate and establish all the facts, because we do believe that in the case of Israel, it is their head of state whom we say needs to have an arrest warrant used against him, because, as we believe, the evidence required is overwhelming. 75% of women and children have been killed, displaced, homeless, not allowed to access healthcare facilities. In Gaza, more than 12,000 people killed. Today, we're supposed to speak in one voice as parties to say, ceasefire, free Palestine. But because you benefit out of whatever feels you good, you don't want to support anything. Uni magrestu zeningavumi ukulahlekiswa. Let us be clear that this is not a religious war, as some have tried to tell us in this afternoon, in this declaration. Ayiyo la Israel yasebhayibhileni le kuyabulawa kule Israel yile kaNetanyahu le. Ayiyo le kaYesu Kristu sunuhamba nimfifitheka nivalwa amehlo ngabantu abafuna ukusebenzisa ubuKristu ucinezela abathatha umhlaba wabantu bathatha izimbiwa babashiye belambile abantwana basePalestine. Our government has withdrawn its diplomats from Israel for the consultation. And we know when we talk these numbers, we're talking human beings that have been killed. Others are still under the rubble. Abakaziwa into babaphina nizoma kule ndawo nithi no masingathethi nge-ceasefire, masingathethi nge-negotiations. Our amendment to the EFF motion calls for a ceasefire to be agreed upon, and both parties to the conflict commit to binding United Nations facilitated negotiations whose outcome must be a just, sustainable, and lasting peace. Thina sifuna uxolo ehlabathini, we stand for peace, and anyone that is violating human rights, lisichaba lomzabalazo lichaba lelizwe. Free Palestine now, free Palestine. Ceasefire until this is achieved. The Israel embassy should remain closed. Thank you very much.
For an extended period, South Africa has stood in solidarity with Palestinians seeking self-determination in areas under Israeli control. Drawing parallels between the challenges faced by Palestinians and the historical struggles of Black South Africans during apartheid, characterized by widespread injustice and segregation, South Africa has voiced support for their cause. However, Israel vehemently rejects this comparison, asserting that their actions towards Palestinians differ significantly from the dynamics of apartheid. South Africa's backing of Palestinian aspirations for statehood stems from its own history of combating injustice. Advocating for Palestinians to have their own independent nation, governed autonomously in areas currently under Israeli jurisdiction, South Africa contends that Palestinians should be empowered to shape their own destiny. In contrast, Israel maintains that the situations are distinct, rejecting the analogy to South Africa's past experiences. Thank you for watching our video today. What are your thoughts on South Africa's handling of the Israel-Hamas conflict? What do you think about the South African Parliament's decision to close the Israeli embassy and suspend diplomatic ties until a ceasefire is achieved in the Israel-Hamas conflict? Also, how you interpret President Ramaphosa and the ANC's stance on condemning Israel's leadership and urging the International Criminal Court to investigate potential war crimes. Share your thoughts in the comment section and remember to like and subscribe to the New Africa channel for more insightful videos.